Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I want to come at you guys with a quick update, but I'm probably just going to attach this to my week 3 update. But right now it's Sunday, so I'm finished with week 2 of my program of the first semester. And I want to give you guys an update of how that's been going so far. So as you guys could tell from my last video from my first week, I was a little bit overwhelmed. I was just like, yo, it's been a while since I had to balance 5 classes at one time. Like, I hadn't had to do that since or I haven't had to do that since like Rutgers, since my last undergraduate degree. So it's kind of like, you know, a culture shock in a way, or kind of like revisiting that time. Because like in LPN school, it was, I would say we usually only had, 2 classes a day freshman semester. It was just like, we had A&P, and then we had fundamentals. Or if we didn't have that, we would have like, I think it was like nutrition and then fundamentals. And like the same thing over, like we had med-surg and OB, or pediatrics and med-surg. Like it was only just like 2 classes that we had to focus on for a certain amount of time. So going into like 5 classes that you have to focus on at the same amount of time, lots of work, lots of reading. Like, I was overwhelmed last week, I'm not gonna lie. But I did start to pick up like a new way of you know, studying and just getting back into school mode, into undergrad mode, into bachelor degree mode. Yeah, so last week I told you guys all the assignments we had to do. I had a paper due last week Sunday, I believe. I ended up getting a 98 on that, so hey, let's go. That was for my contemporary nursing class, and that was the one that was based off a documentary that we had to watch. I also had my first pathophysiology quiz, and guys, my grade was a 70. And I scored above like the average of my classmates. A lot of my classmates got 60s, some 50s. Like, it was just a big culture shock. Just because in pathophysiology we're basically studying on our own. We don't have a professor. We do have a professor, but she doesn't teach anything. It's kind of like online, completely study at your own pace, read the textbook, take the quizzes. And she doesn't come up with the quiz questions. The quiz questions are generated from the site that owns our textbook. So the first quiz was a lot of select all that apply. It was on like the cell and like little itty bitty details about the cell. So it was definitely like, but luckily for that class, the 3 lowest quiz grades get dropped. So hopefully that 70 will get dropped. I don't know if I mentioned, but for my program, anything under, I believe, a 75 is a fail, like a F. So we have to stay with a 75 or above to pass classes. So yeah, so that was all for the first week. So for the second week now, nursing informatics, our teacher, once again, we didn't have like a real Zoom class or a lecture. She just sent us some assignments to do. So I was like, man, I got time. I'm not doing that yet. So I waited to do it. Tuesday we had geriatrics. That one was cool. We learned more about like the elderly and stuff. I read the chapters, this, that, and the third, and then we had patho later on, but that one's optional. We didn't have to do it on Tuesday. We have a whole week. Usually quizzes are on Sundays. They're due by 11:59. So I was like, I'll just wait until Sunday to do the quiz. Wednesday we had culture. Did we have culture? Yes, Wednesdays we had culture. And it got a lot more interesting, just learning about like the cultures of nursing, and like, do nurses have their own culture within themselves? Like, you know, how we talk and our abbreviations, like it's a whole culture within nursing. And then contemporary, we just went over like current event issues and stuff like that. So I did the readings. I had a lot of readings. The chapters were very, very thick, but I managed to space them out. And I think, yeah, I just managed to stretch them out, and you know, so I won't get overwhelmed. So we didn't have anything due this week besides the pathophysiology quiz, which I did take about 2 hours ago. I ended up getting an 88.5, so that's a big step up from last week's quiz grade. So I was like, whew, thank you, Lord. But this week, the chapters weren't that bad. It was on like cancer and immunity and less to do with the cell and more with like human thing. Well, cells are human, but y'all know what I mean. Like, yeah, diseases and stuff like that. So, that's basically my update for this week. Next week, we'll see what happens. I know tomorrow we finally get to meet our informatics professor, so let's see how that goes. Like, she's the only one that we haven't really gotten a feel for her class yet, just because we haven't got to meet her. We haven't experienced her lectures and her style of things. Oh, also, I had an informatics assignment due last week, and I got a 92 on that. So, which was kind of like, it was like an opinion-based assessment. And, like, it scores you based on your opinion. So whatever your opinion score is the score that she took, which is kind of like, So a lot of people in my class are upset about that because they're just like, yo, they got, like, an 85 based on their opinion, and she kept their scores at 85. And they're like, that's not fair. It's an opinion. Like, how do you grade someone's opinion? Like, how do you say someone's opinion is wrong? And, like, the questions were like, oh, I feel comfortable using computers. So you want the person to say they strongly agree when they don't really feel comfortable. So that's what made it weird, but you got to get through it. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys like what some of the work that I did was, and also, I got to mention the books that we're going over. So wait, I'll show you. As you can see, this is my planner right now. If you guys recall from the first week, none of this was filled out. It wasn't looking as crazy, but now, like, y'all, I have a busy schedule, okay? Like, I have a very busy schedule. So I usually write everything out. I got my planner stickers. So usually I write down things that are due or things that I want to get done, like the readings and stuff like that, the due dates. I check it off. Like Patho, I like to write my quiz grade next to, like, what I got, just so I keep up with stuff like that. And future due dates, when things are due, our exam for Jero, stuff like that. Contemporary, the chapters, being mortal, I'll get into that. And yeah, and so for informatics, like the assignments, I go through the textbook and I write things down. Same thing with, what's this for? This is for Jero. I write down, like, I read the chapters and then I go through the notes. And there's my textbooks. Here's another textbook for informatics. This is just my whole study space, guys. My whole study space. So yeah, that's basically where I've been at in regards to week 2. I'm finally getting back into the groove of things, knocking down chapters. It's starting to become more doable. Like I said, last week I was just like, But, I got through it. I'm getting through it. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Okay, so before I end this vlog, and I'll probably just keep this as one vlog just because I noticed y'all don't like watching my super long vlogs. Like the watch time shows that like people don't watch it all the way through, so I guess that means you guys want shorter vlogs. But yeah, before I go, I just want to show you guys basically for Jero and my culture class, we have to do outside readings besides our textbooks. And at first, I was just like, oh my goodness, it's about to be so boring. So for Jero, our teacher said that we were allowed to do like an audiobook instead of like the regular book if we chose to, which is what I did. And guys, the book is so boring. It's called Being Mortal. It's about aging and the idea of aging and stuff like that. So I listened to the audiobooks. I've been trying to get 1 hour in every 2 days. But it's really hard. Like, after this, I'm going to listen to the audiobook, but it's just really, it's a drag. But we have to do a critique on it. I think it's due sometime in July, so I'm just trying to get that out the way. And the other book for culture, I thought would be, like, another boring one. But, guys, like, I have really become interested in this book, and I have it right here. It's called The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. And it's super interesting. Like, I got through 86 pages the first day. But yeah, basically the book is about Henrietta Lacks. She was an African-American woman who died at the age of 31 from cervical cancer. The thing that makes her famous is basically that while she was getting her treatments, the doctors actually scraped some of her cervical tissue to test, because they wanted to do testing on like cancer cells and stuff. This was all like in the, I think the 40s or the 50s. Most like it was the 50s, I believe. So, you know, African Americans didn't have that many rights and stuff like that anywhere, and especially in healthcare. So they scraped her tissue, didn't tell her. She had no information. And what they found was that her cancer cells kept multiplying, kept growing, kept growing. Even after she died, her cancer cells that they collected kept multiplying and growing. And the cool thing is that her cancer cells are still alive till this day, still multiplying, and it's been over 50 years since she passed away. And yeah, they've used it to get the, polio vaccine. They've used it for multiple vaccinations, and they use it up in space. It's all over the world. They said that if you were to gather all her cells that are living today, it would circle the world like 2 times, and it would weigh how many tons, which is like crazy. It's amazing. But it's also an ethical thing, because her family never knew about it after she passed away. They buried her in an unmarked grave, like the hospital buried her in an unmarked grave, so the family doesn't even know where she's buried. And also, like, one of her daughters was like, my mom's cells have been used so much for medicine. Everyone calls us. They want reporters come to us and tell us how much our mom has saved modern medicine, and contributed to this and that, but we could barely afford healthcare insurance. So it's like, it's a whole ethical thing. It's like a lot of drama, just like based off of her cells. Like, her daughter literally, I think, got a heart attack or suffered a stroke due to like just her mom's cells, like the conversation behind it, and how, like, you know, it wasn't right what they did to her. Her family's like broke, yet doctors who are using her cells for science are getting rich. So definitely an interesting book. If you haven't read it, I suggest you read it. And it's not even like a nursing book. It's like Black history. If you want to talk about what happened between African Americans and medicine back in the day, it's an interesting book. I would recommend it. Like, we have to do a whole bunch of critiques and stuff on that, so I'm just trying to knock it down, but it's definitely like interesting. So I'm gonna stop blabbering. Okay, I'm gonna keep this vlog short. Like I said, I'll probably just keep this to one vlog for week 2. But yeah, guys, that has been my update. Also, some of you guys may have seen my post last week, but I'll just say it in this vlog. So my older sister has officially started a YouTube channel. Yay! Finally! So she is an LPN. She's been an LPN for 8 years now, and she's in an LPN to BSN program, a separate program from mine, and she's vlogging her nursing journey. Her channel's name is MA's Nursing Journey. I'll put the link down in the description box below, so if you guys want to check it out, go and give her some love, subscribe, watch her first video. I think she's going to post up a second video soon, so make sure you go out, check it out, show her some love. And most likely, I'm going to have her on my channel soon. I feel like doing a sister tag so you can see us together. But yeah, so that is my update for you guys. If you like this video, please give it a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.